Hello, this is Carson Cook, your CSO Pro, and welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our future uploads. Enjoy the video. Hello, good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Again, welcome to the CSO Pro. My name is Carson Cook, and again, today what we're going to be talking about is actually a very fun sales training topic, which is awesome. It's one of the techniques and tools that we use to train our sales guys, also groups of sales professionals out there. It's actually a very fun thing. It's a series of three different things, and we're not going to tell you what those three things are yet. We're actually going to be in a couple other videos, but we're going to launch this one, and we'll provide links to the description below and make sure that we have it edited and everything. But we have 3 different day challenges that we do, like the 24-day challenge. We have a 3-day challenge, a 3-day communication challenge that we do with every single one of our sales reps, whether they're brand new or even highly experienced. This is something that's very fun. It's something very good to do. It's you keep all your progress in a journal, but it's a very simple thing, and it works magic, guys. And what this is, we call this the Day of Conversation Challenge. All right, now what this is actually helps you kind of get used to the first 7-second bias, breaking the ice with people. It helps with your storytelling techniques. It helps with your rapport building skills, all sorts of stuff, putting you outside of the comfort zone. Now, the funny part about sales, okay, sales is putting yourself in awkward situations. When we're dealing with clients, you're going to be in uncomfortable situations. That's why not a lot of people like sales, but it actually can be fun. At the end of the day, when you kind of don't give a shit, I know that sounds a little weird, but you don't care what other people think of you, okay? When you kind of work with a client and they, whatever, then it helps let your guard down. It actually brings out a lot more honesty with you, with yourself. You kind of project a lot of honesty, which is perfect, exactly what you need to sell. So one of the things that we do with our guys to kind of help with this, okay, is we have 3 different challenges. One's Day of Conversation. We go out and we start random conversations with complete strangers. This is going to help you break out of your comfort zone. You're going to be uncomfortable a lot in sales, dealing with certain situations or objections, making you nervous, like you're in the spotlight. A good sales professional is comfortably uncomfortable, if that makes sense. A great sales professional, a great communicator can be very comfortably uncomfortable, okay? So they could be giving a speech or a talk or working with their client. They could be put in an awkward situation and they could be very uncomfortable, but you're not gonna tell the difference because they're actually comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense. So how do you do that? Okay, how do you do that? If I'm doing sales, Carson, what do I do? What are some of the things that I can really kind of speed up my learning? Well, you gotta put yourself out there. A good example is one of the best ways that I actually learned how to swim very well was, I was having trouble with it. My dad, kicked me in the pool. He just kicked me right in. It was sink or swim. And I actually learned how to swim quickly that way. Now it sounds a little weird, but that I appreciate that, if that makes sense. Lessons, did a great job with that. But at the end of the day, guys, you gotta jump in. You gotta learn how to swim. The best way to do it is do it in a setting that's non-threatening to your paycheck. Do it in a setting that is non-threatening to anything else. And who gives a shit? Okay, who cares what other people think about you in this? This is a challenge. You can even tell them the truth. This is just a challenge, and I'm here to do this. So with the Day of Conversation, this is awesome. You need to make sure that you go out, you spend a full day, okay, whether it's on the subway or walking in the park or going to buy your coffee. Okay, is you need to have 10 full conversations with 10 random people. Now these people need to be 100% random, completely people you've never met before. Okay, and the most important about this day is at the end of the day, you need to take every conversation and revert back to number 3. You need to have observation. You need to reflect on what took place, and you need to recognize the difference between your tone of voice, the word choice that you use, the progress that you made in each conversation, the difference between conversation 1 versus conversation number 10. Now what this is going to do is this is going to help. Now let me give you a good example. The other day we were having a training, okay, in a corporate office that actually had a Starbucks downstairs. We sat down and we said, okay, let's go do this in action. We're all going to go downstairs, we're going to sit at Starbucks and we're going to order some coffee. Now we want to make sure that we put ourselves in a good setting to start a conversation. So I went and got our coffee, 2 or 3 other colleagues got their coffee, and then we all sat down at a table and said, okay, we're going to start the Day of Conversation now. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to start first. Okay, I always do this I'm just going to go do it right now. I got my coffee. Okay, I found this young lady who actually was, she was starting a dog business, believe it or not. And we got a long story short, it turns out that she actually, one of her good friends was a friend that I knew back in high school. We were in a completely different city, in a completely different state. So I walked up and I said, hey, can I join you? And she says, yes, sure. Very confused look on her face, makes me feel uncomfortable. That part of communication would make anyone feel uncomfortable. But I said, listen, I've got a group of friends here and we're kind of working on some communication techniques and kind of helping build up a little bit of confidence within our sales professionals. So we have this thing called the Day of Conversation. So my job today is to actually go out, sit down with 10 random people and have just an awesome conversation. A coffee shop is a perfect place to do that. What do you think? Can I sit down? Can we talk? Sure. So she said, oh, okay, that broke down the barrier. I just told her the truth. I didn't lie at all. I said, this is what I'm doing. I have this thing called the 10-day challenge, the Day of Conversation challenge. I sat down, I said, so let me start off. My name's Carson. Again, like I said, what's your name? Her name was Michelle. We sat down, and then after that, we got to know each other. I said, well, let's open it up. Just to break the ice a bit, I'll tell you one thing about me, and then you tell me one thing about you. And she goes, okay, great. So I said one thing about myself, and I said, tell me about yourself. So she told me where she worked. She told me what job she kind of had. She told me that she was struggling with having the courage to actually open up this business. So I talked to her about, these are some of the things that you can do to not worry about opening up a brand new business. I mean, it's America, open dream, da da da. I said, well, thanks a lot for the conversation. I really appreciate it. And then I shook her hand and I walked away. Okay, so you could see throughout the day that I did the same challenge with everybody else, and it was the whole day of training was that challenge. We went to a city park, we went to a bowling alley, believe it or not, a bowling alley, and we sat down and we walked and we had conversations with random people. And what we could see is that the people that were very reserved, the people in the group that, when I first made that introduction to the training course, my hand went up like this. I said, well, can you please state your name? Well, hi, my name's John, and I work with, blah, blah, blah. That's it, that's all you get. Okay, now the person that's like, hey, my name's John, I work with this company, we sell this awesome product, and you could tell that at the end of the day, that after the day of conversation, okay, their tank was full of confidence. Your tank was full of confidence that you do actually have the ability to start random conversations with regular people. And what that does, that puts you in a power position to where when you're selling a product, when you have an appointment on the books or you have a guaranteed phone call, and even if someone you've never met, at least someone's touched base, you're having a better opportunity than being able to go talk with random people. Another thing, this also will help you with self-prospecting. If you're cold calling, if you're walking door to door, business to business, face to face with people you've never met, this is gonna really, really, really help you break down the ice. It's gonna help you, especially when you do this. Remember, this is not about business. This is not about business. The day of conversation is not about business. The day about conversation is full rapport. This is about you getting to know random people. And you believe it or not, I can count on my hand probably 3 friends that I have made from this very challenge. 3 personal friends of mine that I have in my cell phone that I call on a regular day basis. And one friend that I met doing this actually, trusts me enough to watch their house, if that makes any sense. So believe it or not, this works very well, guys. This is a great tool that you can use to help better your interpersonal communication, especially in dealing with sales. This is gonna get your team, this is gonna get yourself better at self-prospecting, starting that first process on the sale. It'll also help you over the phone. When you get used to talking to random people, when you can bring that barrier down or that wall that you have at a social construct that says, well, everybody needs to mind their own business. Well, there's some tools to this too. You need to observe. You need to make sure too that you take back your observations. Okay. Now, if I walk up to a random person and they're very rude, and let's say we're in New York, and they're like, we're very, not the New York people are rude or anything, but it's a very all business type of state, which is awesome. So those people need answers quickly. It's not a lot of time to build up rapport and relationships. It's quick. Okay. So if it's the same kind of thing, you need to observe. Someone comes up and they're very rude. You need to take a step back and say, okay, well, don't let that hurt you, because who cares? First off. Second off, did I go in with the right approach? Was this the wrong setting of the sale when I try to start my random conversation? Like, were they busy? Now, don't go up to someone who's busy. That's their personal bubble. That's their personal space. If someone's jogging, you don't want to say, hey, I have this day of conversation. Stop right here. We got to talk. Okay, that's not going to work. That's not a good 7-second bias. If someone's sitting at the park feeding the birds, you might be able to go up and have a conversation. So observe, guys, observe and take what you learned from this challenge and write it in a journal. Write down each of the 10 conversations. Okay, and do this on a regular basis, guys. Reserve 1 day a month if you're a sales professional to just at least try this. If you're sitting on a subway somewhere and someone looks bored, walk up and talk to them. If they look sad, maybe you should walk up and, ask what's wrong, see if you can lend some assistance. But at the end of the day of conversation, guys, is all about conversing and learning from your conversing, not just doing the action, but observing your results, observing how well do you talk to random people. They say the best sales professionals out there were like those ones in high school, those guys in high school, those girls in high school that had their different cliques, but they got well along with everybody. They got along well with the jocks, the sports guys, the nerds. They were the people that didn't really care. They got along well with everybody. That's because they can build rapport with every type of person. And that's what we need to learn here, is that in your observation, you need to learn how to build rapport with random people. Okay, so that is the day of challenge, guys. Thanks for watching the video. We should have those other 3 days coming up here shortly. And make sure, like I said, I'll post the links in the description below. But I'll see you soon. Thanks.